people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Where children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Lovers are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you are half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just why I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own, without a love of my own. Blue moon, I've got a love of my own.
Good morning, family and friends. My name is Carrie Frith, and I welcome you all here today, including those joining us from the live stream, to celebrate the life of an extraordinary lady that blessed this earth for 88 years, Frances Betty Wallington. Before we commence, if I could trouble you all to ensure that your mobile phones are switched off out of respect, that would be very much appreciated. It truly is a bittersweet experience for us to come together today, because while we're here to say goodbye to Fran, we're also here to celebrate a woman whose life touched so many others. At school, Fran was nicknamed Squibby, simply because she was little. But there was certainly nothing little about Fran. She had a big personality, a marvellous zest for life, and a great sense of fun. She was quick-witted, down to earth, warm, well-respected, and quite simply very easy to like. But above all, she was deeply loved. If Fran's life were a book, there would be some chapters that may well be just too sad to read. From her early years of a difficult childhood, through challenges, adversities, she experienced a beautiful love and, sadly, also extreme loss. Through no fault of her own, there were times when life was simply unfair. But hers would not be a story that would end there. The determination, resilience, and putting one foot in front of the other, a new world evolved. As the pages in her book turned, life changed. Her children grew. She found love again. Families grew around her, and new chapters brought new people, new memories, and a great deal more of love. And by the end of Fran's story, what would remain with a reader would not simply be the difficult chapters, but an overwhelming sense of admiration for the woman she was, respect for the strength she showed, and gratitude for the way her story ultimately unfolded. And perhaps more importantly, there would be a very strong sense of the power of love. The love Fran gave so freely throughout her life, and the love that was returned to her in abundance. To Fran's children, Michael, Chris, Todd, Steve, Nikki, Maxine and their spouses, her 38 grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, to Jeff and all of Fran's extended family and friends, on behalf of Sean Hamilton Funerals and myself, please accept our condolences for the loss of Fran from your lives. Whilst today is understandably filled with sadness as you come to say your final farewells to Fran, it would not be fitting to focus only on that sadness. Today is our opportunity to pause and acknowledge what a remarkable woman she was, to remember her resilience, endurance, determination, the lives she influenced, the laughter she shared, and the countless ways she made a difference. So today, alongside the tears, there is also room for smiles and gratitude. And alongside the farewell, there's an opportunity to genuinely celebrate Fran, to give thanks for her life, for all that she gave, and for the many blessings she brought to those fortunate enough to know her and to love her. To hear more on Fran's story in life, I would now like to invite sons Michael and Todd forward to share with us.
Thanks everyone for coming. One's from Queensland, one's from Hunter Valley, everywhere else. We know Mum would have truly appreciated you all coming today. Thanks to Trish and Gavin, Mick, Asti, travelling down from Queensland, Karen travelling up from Melbourne, Mum and Dad's much loved, cherished niece. We also have friends and family who have travelled from Newcastle, Hunter Valley, South Coast areas, as well as friends and family from this area. A special mention to Joshy, coming all the way from Germany. That is one effort, mate. Thank you. For the celebration of his grandmother's life and the following gig we're going to have this afternoon to remember her and have fun. She loved fun. She knew how to party and she taught us how to party.
Francis Batty Wallington, unique work. Born 25th April 1938, Anzac Day. As my brother Bo would say, this proved handy later in life, remembering the date. I'm sure everybody remembers their Mother's Day, don't you? We've always celebrated Mum's birthday the Wallington way, usually at 20 bad, including this year when her children, grandchildren, extended family, partners and of course beloved great-grandchildren gathered to celebrate the lifelong love she gave all of us, not to mention everything she sacrificed for her children. Mum was born in Marrickville, Sydney's inner west, and attended Homebush Girls High, starting in first form in 1950. Mum's mother, Daisy Lillian Late, our little Nan Lil, was the youngest of 13 children. Mum's father, George, originated from Maitland, New South Wales. Unfortunately, George left the family home early in Mum's life, leaving her to be raised by her mother. Mum had two older siblings, Bill and Pat. For quite a while in Mum's early years, when at Sydney's inner west, the family lived above a sewing shop where little Nan worked. Mum took on a lot at a young age. This no doubt steeled her for things to come in later life. Music was a big part of Mum's life. As a teenager, she loved to dance. Her brother Bill also became a drummer in the ADF band, sharing that love of music. One of Mum's uncles, a bit of a rogue, also owned a disco. Where's Bo? He also owned a disco venue in inner Sydney, and eventually the business was burnt to the ground. Don't know by who. Mum met our dad, Max George Wallington of Concord West, in 1955. They married at Hargrave Park in March 57. We have a large collection of photographs from their wedding, showing two people who are happy and very much in love. They're both absolutely incredible dancers, with a jitterbug being their preference. I remember watching them dance much later at parties. Unbelievable. The family initially lived at Hinkler Avenue, Liverpool, before Dad accepted a transfer to Gunnedah. We lived for home at Donna's store in Little Conadilly Street. Mum hated the place. It was full of vermin, rotten timber, and at that stage there were 4 boys under 5. The eldest of our 2 sisters, Nikki, was born in Gunnedah, and finally, for Mum, another redhead in the family. We made our regular trips.
We made regular trips back to Sydney to visit family, usually staying at Nan and Pop's, our father's parents' place in Concord West. On one particular trip, we broke down at Singleton. Dad was driving the first model Land Cruiser that ever came into the country, 1963. It had a soft top on the back. All the kids were in the back.
It's pretty good.
He blew it up. He blew it up just before Singleton, and we were all sitting in the back of this thing all afternoon. They were sending another car down from Gunnedah. They sent a brand new Toyota Corona, right? 1963. Still had plastic on the seats, so they brought this down on a trailer, and we all jumped in this flash Corona and went to Sydney, and the Land Cruiser went back to Gunnedah to get fixed. Yeah. On other trips, we used to stop at the BP service station on the Putty Road. Dad loved the Putty Road, so do I. And everyone was whinging because they'd like to go to the Oak and have a milkshake at the Oak at Freeman's Waterhole. Yeah. No, Dad'd go to the Putty Road. We'd stop at the BP and get a sausage sandwich. We'd all get one each, which was only less than half of what we really needed, but you know, you've got to feed a lot of kids. There was 5 of us at the time. I can remember if someone was playing up, and there usually was somebody playing up. I'm looking at him. And Dad would his big hairy arm would just swipe straight across the back seat and get all 4 of us in one swipe. And we'd shut up for 5 minutes. Yeah. In 1964, we went back to Sydney after Dad's stint in Gunnedah with McDonough's, and in 1966, Dad took a district supervisor's job with Massey Ferguson in Tamworth, and that's when we moved to Upper Street, which was a mansion compared to the house we lived in Gunnedah, but that house in Gunnedah would have been one of the first houses built in Gunnedah, I'd say. And half the house was shut off. I don't know what McDonald's had in there, but we never saw in those rooms. Yeah. Not long after we got to Tamworth, Dad was diagnosed with cancer. Started in his knee. And had several operations on his knee and ray treatment. This was all pre-chemo. There was none of that stuff back then. And then it went to his lungs. They took one of his lungs out, put it on a table and cut the cancer off it, and then put it back in again. Rehab was terrible. He couldn't move his arm for months. Anyway, then it went to his brain. And I'm sure they were experimenting with him. Giving him ray treatment on his brain, and the headaches were horrendous. You right?
Think I'm composed. Following Dad's death, Frances Betty faced the biggest decision of her life. She was 32 years old with 6 children after Maxine Gabriel. Was born 6 weeks after Dad passed. Where did our future lie? Money Dad's superannuation provided, together with funds raised by the Gunnedah community, including a large donation from Don McDonough, had enough to purchase our home in 20 Bear Crescent, South Tamworth, a roof over our heads. Mum was certain that East Tamworth was too cold and that the sun rose earlier in South Tamworth. East Tamworth would have been nice. So with 6 children in tow, she moved back to Tamworth. Mum always loved the people up here. And the town also had Catholic schooling, which was great for us kids. Growing up in Bear Crescent, we had a park across the road, ideal for 4 boys who couldn't sit still. We used that park every day, especially on the weekends. Normally playing Crescent Rugby League, and that was basically every kid or every bloke in the Crescent, boy. And our field actually had the trees on it, so when we were playing, you'd have to not only dodge the other players, but you had to dodge the trees. We had great fun, but it was kids, not just bigger kids, it was, we were only like this, and it went right through to a couple of Lebrocks that actually ended up playing in Sydney. They were good footballers, too good for us. Earlier during our time at East Tamworth, before we went back to Sydney, Dad befriended Dennis and Connie Murphy, a couple of Poms. Dad knew Dennis through Massey Ferguson. The Murphys lived in Hugh Street, South Tamworth. When we moved home to South Tamworth, Connie and Dennis were just a small walk away through the lanes. Now, Connie, being a Pommy, used to call them Snickets. Call Mum Fran and came through the Snickets. Connie became a lifelong friend of Mum's. We had a couple of characters they were.
No.
Okay. I won't mention that bit. Our sisters have many fond memories of the Hugh Street sunroom. Connie loved hosting cocktail parties in the 70s, just with Mum, Nick and Maxine. He danced to Shirley Bassey and Neil Diamond records and made memories to last a lifetime. In 1968, before Dad passed, Mum got a licence, something she was definitely going to need, and inherited a V8 Kingswood. Many here would know the Manila Carnival, those that have played league. So one Saturday we were travelling to Manila. It was for a footy carnival. Mum was running late, so the pedal went down. We arrived safely at Manila in 20 minutes. Although none of us could see over the dashboard, we did notice Mum's dismay when the speedo touched 100 mile per hour. It was met with a, ooh. That was classic Fran. Needless to say, the trip home was a little slower. That Manila Carnival was a memorable day. It wasn't because of the footy. It was when the ladies in the canteen thought Steve, with his blonde locks, was a little girl. Mum always laughed when talking about that. She also agreed with them. It was best not to mention that when Steve was a bit older, as he had a habit of throwing whatever was nearby at you. And I remember one day I had to bolt because he threw a brick at me. Luckily it missed. Has he changed yet? I should ask the kids. Times were tough growing up. Mum received a pension. We think, including child endowment, it was $78 a fortnight. And it was unlivable. So to put food on the table, Mum would work wherever she could. Buttercup Bakery, the RSL pub, Town Talk Hotel, Scully Park Canteen, and the Oxley Bowling Club, not all at once. With Bo, it's your turn, Bo. Bo loved the buttercup bread best. Mum would fill the freezer with day-old bread, hungry no more. And by far, apparently, his favourite was the fruit loaf. But a footnote here about Bo and his history with bread. There's a true story from when we lived in Sydney of Bo being sent to buy a fresh half loaf of unsliced bread from the shop. Not being able to hold back on the walk home to Mum's, he managed to eat all of the fresh inside out and arrived with a loaf of crust. Mum loved to tell it. She did at the time, but she did like to tell that story later when she calmed down a bit. When Bo was selected in the New South Wales School Boys water polo team, all players were given raffle tickets. Starting to get a bit blurry here. To help cover the cost of touring New Zealand. Mum sold them everywhere, pubs, clubs, the pool, wherever she could. As it turned out, she sold first prize, a new portable TV. I think most of us would have had them at some stage. She sold it to someone in Gunnedah. When it got delivered to the property, however, there were dirt floors and no electricity. But Mum, as usual, had gone over and above for her children. That was our Mum.
She always had our best interests at heart. Times were tough, and household items were purchased through Wallington's on account. And when the Wallington's guy used to come around, if Mum never had the money to make the payments, we all had to hide. But we never went without. I remember we weren't long in the house, and Mum and I used to talk about finances. And the farmers in Gunnedah had thrown a hat around and raised nearly $4,000. This is in 1970. And that 4,000 augmented the pension with the 6 kids for, I reckon, 2 or 3 years. Mum made that money last. We never went without. We always had plenty of food. We didn't have holidays, except go to Sydney and see Nan and Pop. We were in a family-friendly town. Spent most of our time at home in the park. Mum loved Tamworth people so much, and this place and its people loved her too. How could you not? In 1972, Mum met Jeffrey Havelock Whitten. Widow, the next love of her life. Mum was a cradle snatcher. Their life together was very enjoyable. And Mum finally had someone to share the burden, particularly with 4 boys going through teenagerhood. So Widow was very handy at assisting, keeping us in line. Thanks, Jeff, for all the help that you gave Mum and us in those early days. Life was hard without Dad. But that never deterred Mum. She was determined to keep us on the straight and narrow, and more importantly, make sure we grew up into good people. Some might argue about the first part, but on the whole, I think we've all done okay, thanks to Mum. Mum was the glue of the family. This has always been the case for those of us who lived away. I'd always say I'm going up to Mum's, and not to Tamworth, to Mum's. And I remember the lift it was when you walk inside and saw her and gave her a hug. She had so much love to give, and she just loved everybody and loved being around people, having fun. It was also hard leaving her place. She would stand on the veranda and wave until you're out of sight, every time. Yeah. Righto.
Second takes over. Comes a time in all our lives when peace is hard to find. But remember, you're never alone. Over the past years, Max, Shell, Nick and Steve, you've looked after Mum so well. You've been her angels. You did everything that you could to make Mum comfortable and safe. Your brothers, really. Appreciate it. To all the staff at Tamworth Base Hospital, thank you for the care and compassion that Mum received. You certainly went above and beyond for her. Over Mum's last couple of days, she was visited by a large number of a loving family. You can see how many are here. And that was, a family from all different locations. On the 7th of August, after we had been there with Mum during the day, and we all knew she could hear us. Nick was there and mentioned to me, told Mum's got a tear in her eye. And that's when Mum passed. She no doubt had a family in mind. We know that tear was definitely a sign of Mum's love.
We always love you, Mum. Thank you for everything you did for us, every sacrifice you made, every challenge you faced, and every bit of love you gave us. For all of it, we remain eternally grateful. Safe journeys, Mum. Say good day to Dad. Rest in peace. Thanks.
Thank you ever so much for sharing the story of your mum's life. I'm now going to invite granddaughters, Claire and Jackie, forward to share about their grandma.
This is hard. 20 Baird Crescent, Grandma's house. The centre of the universe. Nowhere in my life has felt more like home. I spent countless days there with you and Pa as a child, pottering in the garden, the daytime soaps on the telly, playing in the park across the road, as you sat on that porch, folding the washing and keeping an ever-vigilant eye on the magpies. That same front porch you stood on and waved at every departure, until your visitors were completely out of sight, as if you were savouring every last moment with them. find myself adopting this goodbye wave, ensuring not to turn away too soon. The grandma wave, my partner Jay has lovingly coined it. A hug from you was much the same. The best hug in the world. You hugged like it was the most important thing you had to do that day. You don't end a hug like that too soon. A lifetime of those hugs is enough to make you feel really special, incredibly loved. And that's how I felt in your eyes, and I saw that with all of your grandchildren. You loved your family so fiercely, and in return we loved you back with every inch of our being. How extraordinary to have loved so many people in your life as deeply as you did, and to have received that love back. Paul McCartney must have spent a day in the backyard of 20 Baird Crescent when he wrote, "In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make." You made a lot of love. You had a wealth of love. You left this world a rich woman, absolutely dripping in love. I was fortunate enough to be there for some of your last words. You opened your eyes and gazed around the room to see a selection of your adoring fans. Pure joy spread across your face. Love filling your body. And you said, "You're all beautiful." Beautiful. I feel so incredibly lucky to have shown up in this lifetime as your granddaughter. Your youngest granddaughter, Michelle, put this feeling perfectly. I'm so lucky to have so many memories of you. I could not possibly choose a favourite. I will forget many as the years go by, but I will never forget what it felt like to be at Grandma's house. And how it felt to be loved by you. Thank you, Grandma, for your endless supply of love. Thank you for showing me how to love so openly. To say there is now a void in all of our lives is a gross understatement. Rest easy, Grandma. We will always love you.
I'm one of 14 very lucky people who got to call Frances Betty Grandma. I just wanted to share a bit about what that meant to me and to all of us Wallows. There was never a question about whether or not she was a regular grandma. Other kids, and later on adults, would talk about their grandmothers and nans, and I would listen and go along with it, but secretly deep down, I always felt a bit smug knowing mine was way better. For starters, she never really looked like a stereotypical grandma, or more recently, great-great-grandma. She was always effortlessly chic and cool, and you couldn't help but tell her how good she looked whenever you saw her. Maintaining the red in her hair was very important to her, to the point that when everyone gathered just a few weeks ago to see her in hospital, almost everyone commented on how amazing her hair colour was, which she would have absolutely frothed. Her outfits weren't like a regular grandma's either. She was always so on trend. Bright patterns, denim jackets, modern colourful jewellery, big movie star sunnies. She loved wearing lots of green and, of course, lots of leopard print. She swore by Clinique skin products, and it absolutely showed. She was always radiant and glowing and loved sharing her skincare tips and favourite products. She even dabbled in fake tan as a great-grandmother, which I always found incredibly cool. Not only did she not really look like a regular grandma, she didn't really act like one either. We were looking back at some photos from her 80th birthday party that she posted on Facebook. Again, for someone with great grandkids, having a social media presence was insanely cool. She'd captioned the photos from her 80th, "What a rage of a night, wow." Our grandma loved a good rage. She loved having a CC in dry or a sparkling in hand, with a living room or backyard full of very merry people, loud music and dancing. Even in more recent years when she couldn't fully rage, she loved being around one and would always comment on how much she loved her family being together and having fun. At her 88th birthday house party on Anzac Day just this year, Pa and I were helping her to bed late, and I was apologising for how loud we were being in the backyard, even though by all accounts mine and Amy's rapping was amazing. Just ask Uncle Stephen. Grandma said to never apologise because you need to have as much fun as you can while you're young. By this philosophy, our wise eldest uncle and eternal party boy, Uncle Michael, must still pass as very young. So I'm looking forward to having decades of rages well into the future for Grandma. I need some water. She also loved her sport, especially rugby league and cricket. While she controversially changed NRL allegiances a few times over the years, I always knew her as a passionate Newcastle Knights fan, an identity I was also happily brainwashed into. She would always have her favourite players for Newcastle or New South Wales, but she would call her man. The last Knights game I watched with her this year, it was understandably a bit tough with her health for her to focus on the game. She hadn't said too much, but at one point the camera zoomed in on Knights 5'8" Fletcher Sharp with his glorious blonde Cessnock mullet blowing in the wind, and Grandma said, "There's my man." It was a bit different to a few weeks before that, when there was a close-up of Queensland 5'8" Cameron Munster, not known to be one of Grandma's favourites, and she yelled, "Get out of my television." Grandma was always so genuinely interested in and excited about what all her grandkids and great-grandkids were up to. And she'd light up bragging about everyone's special talents and achievements and was always the source of the latest updates on the family. She had every single family member's birthday memorised, and sometimes we'd get her to list them all as a party treat. She was even going through them during one of her recent hospital visits and nailing it. When you'd sit and talk to her about what was going on in your life, she would really listen and would remember and ask how things were going the next time you spoke to her. Whether it was for the footy or a rage, a family get-together or just a quick visit, there was no feeling like going to Grandma's house. It was always like a deep breath out, like when you'd walk in, the warmth and love seeped into you and you could just relax and forget everything else. I loved that after the long drive, you'd be greeted by a big hug, and within 60 seconds she'd ask, "You want a beer?" Some of my favourite memories are just sitting in the backyard at 20 bed in the sun with a platter of nibbles, Grandma in her movie star sunnies, and family all around, listening to music and talking shit. Mostly Cousin Josh talking shit, but that's why we love him. These special experiences are something I hope our Wallow family continues to cultivate, so Grandma can watch and laugh along while sipping a CC and dry. If there's one thing I'll always remember about Grandma, it will be that she was someone who radiated warmth and love. To her family, to our partners past and present, to our friends who felt like they were family when they were around her. We would all have been so lucky just to have known her. And we were all so ridiculously blessed to love and be loved by her. Thank you for everything, our beautiful Grandma. No.
The power of love. So we have a very special piece of tribute music to share with you right now. It's Home by Frank Wildhorn, and this recording is sung by Fran's great-granddaughter Elsie Bird, who's here up the front. But whenever Elsie came to Tamworth to see her grandma, she always had a special audience with her. So we're going to take a listen to that now. I'm not sure if I mentioned in that intro, but Elsie is 9. We're going to have a look now at the photographic tribute of some of the photos of Fran's life as we listen to How Sweet It Is by James Taylor, and I'd like to thank granddaughter Bree Donnelly for putting this together for us today.
Understand my ups and downs. There you were, with sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotion. I want to stop and thank you, baby. I want to stop and thank you, baby. Yes, I do. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Feels so fine. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I close my eyes at night, wondering where would I be without you in my life. Everything I did was just a bore. Everywhere I went, it seems I've been there before. You brighten up for me all of my days. With a love so sweet in so many ways. I want to stop. Thank you, baby. I just want to stop. Thank you, baby. Oh, yes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. It's just like sugar sometimes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. just wanna stop. Thank you, baby. Oh, yes. How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, now, how sweet it is to be loved by you. It's like jelly, baby. Oh, yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you. Just like honey to the bee, baby. Yeah, now. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Fran certainly was a woman who wanted something better for her children than the upbringing that she had and her mother before her. They came first, as we've heard. They were at the centre of her world, and there was absolutely no doubt how deeply she loved them. But in those early years, when she had 4 boys under the age of 5, to take a stroll down the street, Stephen would be in the stroller and the older 3 boys would be attached by reins to Fran. She wasn't taking any chances. Today that might be frowned upon, but at least she knew they were safe and she could manage them. If only we could have seen a photo of that image on the screen just now. But raising her children, she was always 2 to 3 steps ahead of them. She had to be. There was no time for unforeseen circumstances. And she possessed an incredible intuition for her children who lived away in adulthood. She somehow knew that if one of her children were in trouble and doing it tough, she would pick up the phone and call just at the right time. Fran was an extremely house-proud lady, always making sure the bin was emptied and, compulsively putting things away, keeping order in the house. Even when her eyesight failed her because of her macular degeneration, she could somehow still spot a scuff mark on the hospital wall or the tiniest speck on the carpet or bathroom floor. And she never hesitated in telling Jeff that he could get on the mower too. As we saw in those pictures, she always took pride in how she looked, always wore makeup. And should anyone turn up unannounced and leaving her unprepared, she'd just quietly disappear for a moment and return with a very fresh face on. But Fran's care extended well beyond her own family. She became a second mum to many of her children's friends. Her home was always open. She welcomed boarders, and when a neighbour lost her own mother, Fran was there to take her under her wing. She had a generosity of spirit that made people feel safe, welcome and cared for. She was a brilliant cook and could have a feed whipped up in 10 minutes. But there were the simple things that brought Fran happiness too. That family home that she bought all those years ago remains the family home to this day. She loves sitting on her front porch. She loved going for a walk, she loved going to the coast, and especially her holidays at New Brighton. And while life had taken her through many different chapters, her home remained her sanctuary, a place where she was comfortable, content and happy, surrounded by her family. Fran spent her life putting her children first, caring for them, protecting them, guiding them and being there when they needed her. And when the time came that Fran needed them, where were they? Right beside her, returning the very love and care she bestowed on them. And that is the greatest evidence of the power of love, perhaps more than anything else that tells the story of Fran. It's not what we take when we leave this world behind us. It's what we leave behind us when we go. And Fran's children and all of her grandchildren became part of the extraordinary legacy that Fran leaves behind, each one carrying something of Fran with them. And for that, they will be forever grateful. We're going to take a moment now to hear a song of reflection that has been chosen by granddaughter Ellie, which is a perfect choice. You Are So Beautiful by Joe Cocker. And it is at this time that I'm going to invite the family to place their rose petals for Fran.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Such joy and happiness. You bring such joy and happiness. You bring like a dream, a guiding light that shines in the night. Heaven's gift to me. You are so beautiful to me.
We come now to committing the earthly body of Fran to all eternity. We give such sincere thanks for her life, her love, her influence, and for all that she shared. Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. And in honour of Fran's Irish heritage and for her love of this blessing, I'm now going to share the Irish blessing for her. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. Until we meet again, Fran, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. I'd like to share this poem with you, and I really hope it brings you some comfort. And it's called I'm Only a Whisper Away. Come dry your tears, smile again. I'm only a whisper away. Near in the dusk of the evening, just out of sight through the day. Watching you waking and sleeping, hearing each prayer that you pray. Sending my love to surround you. I'm only a whisper away. Come dry your tears, smile again, love. Remember the good times we've known. Cherish the joy we discovered. Love that was planted and grown. Your road may seem lonely ahead and distant horizons look grey. You won't be walking alone. I'm only a whisper away. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today in Fran's honour, for your love and support of her family. And I extend the invitation to you all to join the family for refreshments and to share a lot more memories of happier times at the Kalala Inn. I also thank Sean Hamilton Funerals for their care, compassion and kindness to Fran's family at this incredibly sad time. And may the many cherished memories you have of Fran bring comfort to your souls. As we take Fran on her final journey, and no greater honour than having her grandsons take her out, we're going to listen to Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. of the girls have a side, yeah. Said she loved me, yes, yes she does. Gonna show me tonight, yeah. Hey, she got the way to move me, cherry. She got the way to move me. She got the way to move me, cherry, baby. She got the way to move me. All right. Tell your mama, girl, I can't stay long. We got things we gotta catch up on. You know what I'm saying. Can't stand still while the music is playing. Alright. You ain't got no right, no, no you don't. Ought to be so sad, ain't you? Won't need bright lights, no, no we won't. Make her own lightning. She got the way to move me, cherry. She got the way to move me, cherry, baby. She got the way to move me. She got the way to move me. No, won't tell a soul we're gone to. Girl, we do whatever we want to.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep through my veins. Let me be empty. Oh, weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort.